Most athletes spend their entire careers chasing what Caitlin Clark built before she even signed her first WNBA contract, $8.1 million as a rookie. A Nike Super Bowl ad that hit 66 million views in 24 hours. A signature shoe line dropping before she played a single professional game. And here's what nobody's connecting. She didn't get lucky, she engineered it. While the WNBA was still figuring out how to market women's basketball, Caitlin Clark was rewriting the entire playbook, and the numbers prove it. State Farm gave her their first ever national campaign featuring an NCAA athlete. Nike trusted her with $16 million of Super Bowl airtime. Gatorade built an entire product line around her hydration routine. Wilson created the first female signature basketball collection in their history. All of this happened while she was still in college, but here's what makes this story different. This isn't about one viral commercial or a lucky brand deal. This is about how one player looked at the broken marketing system in women's sports and said, "I'm not waiting for anyone to figure this out. I'm building my own empire." And the blueprint she created is now forcing every other athlete, every team, every brand to rethink everything they thought they knew about sports marketing. If you believe athletes should control their own narrative instead of waiting for the system to catch up, hit that like button. It tells us you're ready for the full story. Let's start with where most people think this began, the State Farm commercial. Everyone saw the ad. Caitlin standing next to Jake from State Farm, dropping lines like she'd been doing this her whole life. "You know, life would be easier if I could do everything from the logo." The internet went wild. But here's what they missed. That commercial wasn't just good. It was a calculated masterclass in authenticity. Behind the scenes, Caitlin nailed every take. No awkward pauses, no stiff delivery. The director later said she reacted like a professional actor who also happened to be one of the best basketball players in the world. And the results backed it up. 29.2 million video views, 115,000 social engagements, over 157 million impressions across all platforms. The Idaho Women's Sports TV Outcomes report found that her State Farm ad was 46% more effective at driving engagement compared to the average State Farm spot. Think about that for a second. State Farm runs hundreds of commercials every year. They've got massive budgets and professional actors. But a college basketball player outperformed their entire advertising team just by being herself. That's not luck, that's power. And the ripple effect was immediate. People who had never watched a single women's basketball game knew her name. TikTok exploded with reaction videos. Instagram was flooded with memes. Twitter couldn't stop talking about her timing, her delivery, the way she smirked right before the punchline. Fans started analyzing every frame like it was a championship game. But State Farm was just the beginning. Because while everyone else was celebrating one successful commercial, Caitlin was already 3 moves ahead. She understood something that most athletes never figure out. Marketing isn't about doing one thing really well. It's about building a system where every move amplifies the next one. And that's exactly what she did with Nike. Now, Nike hadn't featured a female college athlete in a Super Bowl ad in 27 years. 27 years. Let that sink in. The biggest sportswear company in the world, the brand that built its empire on athlete marketing, hadn't trusted a woman in college basketball with their most expensive advertising slot in nearly 3 decades. Until Caitlin Clark. And they didn't just give her a spot, they gave her the spotlight. 62 seconds, prime Super Bowl airtime, narrated by Daiichi, set to Led Zeppelin. The ad opens with a simple message. You'll be told you can't do it, so do it anyway. You can't win, so win. Caitlin shares the screen with Aja Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, Sha'Carri Richardson, Jordan Chiles, elite athletes across multiple sports. But make no mistake, this was Caitlin's moment. Nike poured $16 million into that slot, and they trusted her to deliver. And she absolutely crushed it. 66 million views in the first 24 hours, $4.2 million in earned media value. Ipsos, The research company that tracks Super Bowl advertising effectiveness reported that the ad earned 75% positive sentiment and ranked in the top 1% for social power, not top 10%, top 1%. But here's where it gets interesting. That Super Bowl ad wasn't just about selling shoes. It was a statement. Nike was telling the entire sports world that Caitlin Clark wasn't just another athlete with potential. She was the future of sports marketing. And they were betting the farm on it. Because think about the risk Nike was taking. This wasn't LeBron in his prime. This wasn't Michael Jordan returning to the court. This was a college player who hadn't even been drafted yet. But Nike saw what everyone else was missing. Caitlin wasn't just moving merchandise, she was moving culture. And the proof came fast. Within weeks, Nike announced her signature logo, 2 interlocking C's. Simple, clean, instant. Some fans called it boring at first, but that simplicity is exactly what makes it genius. You can put it on anything: hoodies, sneakers, water bottles, basketballs, and it immediately feels like Caitlin Clark. Then came the announcement that changed everything: her first signature shoe, dropping October 2026, just 3 years into her professional career. Sneaker expert Nick DePaula estimates the launch alone could generate between $100 million and $150 million in sales. For comparison, LeBron's first signature shoe in 2003 was considered a massive deal. Caitlin just did the women's basketball version before most people even knew professional women's basketball existed. But she wasn't done. Gatorade came next, and this wasn't just another endorsement deal. They built an entire product around her: hydration, recovery, performance. Every bottle tied to Clark's actual game routine. The messaging was perfect. I'm still that girl from Iowa, but now it's my turn to inspire. If I can drop 40, you can drop 50. If we can draw 56,000 fans, you can draw 57. The bottles sold out in days. Stores couldn't keep them in stock. TikTok exploded with unboxing videos. The hashtag Caitlin Clark Gatorade went viral across every platform. And here's the kicker. The Gatorade Yukon 2 campaign sold out its limited edition bottle and towel in about a day. Not a week, a day. This is ecosystem marketing. Caitlin didn't just endorse a product, she became the lifestyle. And if you're starting to see how every piece connects to the next, drop a comment below. Tell us which brand you think should lock her in next. Apple, Amazon, Netflix? Because, trust us, the story is just getting started. Now, let's talk about Wilson, the basketball company that's been around since 1913, over a century of making sports equipment. And in all that time, they never created a female signature basketball collection. Until Caitlin Clark walked in and said, let's change that. But here's what makes this different from every other signature product deal. Caitlin isn't just slapping her name on a pre-designed basketball. She's co-creating, choosing colors, shaping the design, making sure every detail reflects her actual playing style. Wilson gave her complete creative control because they understood something crucial. Her fans don't just want products with her name on them. They want products that feel like they came from her. And the market is responding. Pre-orders for the collection are already tracking higher than any women's basketball product line in Wilson's history. Not just higher, significantly higher. The company won't release exact numbers yet, but industry insiders are saying this could redefine what's possible in women's sports merchandising. But let's zoom out for a second. Because while Caitlin is building this empire, her peers are struggling to get even a fraction of the attention. And this isn't about skill. Many of these athletes are incredible players with legitimate star power. But marketing? That's a completely different game. Take Sabrina Ionescu, elite on court skills, growing endorsements, solid fan base. She's even appeared in some Nike campaigns. But she hasn't led a Super Bowl spot. She hasn't generated a viral campaign that broke through to casual sports fans. Her Instagram following is strong, but it's not moving at the pace Caitlin's is. Then there's Angel Reese. She signed a major Reebok deal that was hyped as a game changer for women's basketball. The announcement got attention. The initial buzz was real. But then the sales numbers came in. Reports suggest the line lost approximately $15 million. Social buzz dropped by mid-season. The products didn't connect with fans the way everyone expected. A'ja Wilson has strong Nike endorsements. She's a multiple MVP winner with legitimate star power. But her marketing hasn't reached viral status. She hasn't had that one campaign that makes people who don't watch basketball stop and pay attention. And that's not a criticism of Wilson as a player. It's just reality. Marketing and playing are two different skill sets. Jewel Lloyd is a proven WNBA star with consistent performance and solid sponsorships. But her campaigns haven't broken through nationally. Ryan Howard built a strong college following and signed NIL deals, but she hasn't had a national commercial or signature product line that turns casual viewers into buyers. And here's what you need to understand. This gap isn't about talent. It's about timing, strategy, and understanding how modern marketing actually works. Caitlin figured out something that most athletes never do. You can't wait for the system to recognize you. You have to force the system to adapt to you. Between March and April 2024, Caitlin's Instagram audience grew by 775,267 followers. Her TikTok following jumped by 57%. These aren't just numbers. These are people actively choosing to follow her journey, share her content, and engage with her brand. And the economic impact is staggering. Analysts estimate that Caitlin Clark drives 26.5% of all WNBA economic activity. That's ticket sales, merchandise, TV ratings, sponsorship deals. One player is responsible for over a quarter of the entire league's economic engine, before she even played a full professional season. Forbes profiled her as one of the most powerful women in sports in 2025, noting she made $8.1 million as a rookie. That's more than most WNBA veterans make in their entire careers. And most of that isn't coming from her playing contract. It's coming from the empire she built while everyone else was waiting for permission. So what's the real lesson here? Most athletes play the game and hope the marketing follows. Caitlin Clark played the marketing game while dominating on the court. She understood that in modern sports, your brand is just as important as your stats, maybe more important. She didn't wait for State Farm to find her. She delivered a performance in their commercial that made them want more. She didn't wait for Nike to trust women's basketball. She proved she could carry a $16 million Super Bowl campaign. She didn't wait for Gatorade to build a product around a female athlete. She showed them her routine was worth building around. Every move was intentional. Every partnership was strategic. Every campaign was designed to build on the last one. And now, she's not just an athlete with endorsements. She's a marketing ecosystem. A blueprint for how the next generation of athletes should approach their careers. Because here's what's really happening. The WNBA has been trying to figure out how to market women's basketball for decades. They've run campaigns, hired agencies, spent millions on advertising, and one college player figured it out faster than the entire league combined. She proved that authenticity sells, that viral moments can be engineered if you understand your audience. That fans don't just want to watch great basketball. They want to feel connected to the people playing it. And she gave them that connection through every commercial, every social media post, every interview. The system said women's basketball doesn't sell. Caitlin said, "Watch me prove you wrong." The system said college athletes can't compete with professional marketing campaigns. She said, "Hold my basketball," and outperformed everyone. The system said you need years in the league before you get a signature shoe. She said, "I'm not waiting," and Nike agreed. So if you're ready to see what happens when someone stops playing by the old rules and starts writing new ones, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because Caitlin Clark's empire is only just beginning. And the next chapter, it's going to make everything we just covered look like the warm-up. We're tracking her signature shoe launch, the next wave of endorsements, and the ripple effect this is having across women's sports. This isn't just about one athlete anymore. It's about how one person forced an entire industry to evolve. Drop a comment and let us know. Which brand should lock her in next? What partnership would break the internet? Because at this rate, Caitlin Clark isn't just changing women's basketball. She's rewriting what's possible for every athlete who refuses to wait their turn. I'm out. Stay curious, and remember, the story behind the story is always worth investigating.